You can spend like $5,000 on a bespoke suit, right? Tailored to your exact measurements. And you can wear a luxury timepiece that costs, well, as much as a car.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. But, and this is the crazy part, the human brain is actually wired to judge your entire level of professional competence based on, like, the last 6 inches of your outfit.
It really is. It's almost subconscious.
Completely subconscious.
Yeah.
So welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to unpack this really fascinating paradox. We live in this era dominated by fast fashion, AI automation, and, digital networking.
Right.
But one of those vital secret weapons for highly successful people is this decidedly analog, almost old-world craft. I'm talking about professional shoe shining.
Which sounds so counterintuitive today, I know.
It does. So we're looking at the philosophy of total presentation for you guys today. We're specifically drawing on some really cool insights from the modern fashion brand Apparelizer to figure out why treating your footwear as like a structural asset rather than a disposable accessory is still an absolute necessity. So, okay, let's unpack this.
Well, to start, it is the ultimate anchor of personal presentation. I mean, we operate in a culture that heavily indexes on the most visible high-ticket items,
That's for sure. The flashy stuff.
Exactly. The designer jacket, the perfectly knotted silk tie, the really expensive handbag.
Right. The things people post on Instagram.
Right. But the foundational indicator of a person's attention to detail is quite literally their foundation. If that base is neglected, the entire visual architecture of the outfit is just inherently compromised.
It's like building a mansion on a swamp.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
The dissonance is immediate, even if the observer doesn't consciously realize why they're suddenly questioning your competence.
That dissonance is so jarring. I mean, picture this.
Mm-hmm.
You sit down at a major conference table, right? You push your ergonomic chair in, and what is sitting right there in everyone's direct line of sight underneath the glass table?
Shoes? Always the shoes.
The shoes. If you're wearing a meticulous Italian wool suit, but your leather Oxfords are like scuffed gray and completely drying out, it shatters the illusion.
Because it triggers an evolutionary scanning mechanism.
Oh, wait, evolutionary, like biology.
Yeah, actually. We naturally assess people from the ground up, or at the very least, our eyes are drawn to the extremities to gauge, threat, status, capability.
Oh, wow. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, so when there is a mismatch between the high quality of the clothing and the poor quality of the footwear maintenance, our brains process it as a lapse in judgment.
Right, like you missed a spot.
Exactly. What's fascinating here is that it's not actually about the shoes needing to be aggressively shiny. It's about what that level of care signals to others. Polished, well-maintained shoes project confidence, cleanliness, and honestly, a lot of sophisticated discipline.
You're broadcasting your operational standards without even opening your mouth.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're meticulous enough to maintain the leather on your feet, which is, let's be honest, the part of your wardrobe that literally takes the most physical beating, the subconscious assumption from a client is that you'll be equally meticulous with their portfolio.
Right, or their luxury retail experience, or their corporate hospitality event. Precisely.
It just translates.
It translates directly to perceived professional competence in those highly demanding fields. You're signaling a really rigorous standard of care, but we also have to consider the internal psychology, too.
The psychology for the person wearing them.
Yeah, the feedback loop of personal pride. When your footwear is immaculate, you eliminate a massive cognitive burden.
Oh, I get that. You don't have that lingering low-level anxiety of like, oh man, I really hope no one looks too closely at my heels.
Right. Which frees up your cognitive load to focus entirely on your public speaking or, your negotiation or your networking interactions.
That makes total sense.
Just as a tailored suit alters your physical posture, properly maintained shoes complete the professional armor, you're grounded in a sense of self-assurance. And Apparelizer actually bases their approach to modern style heavily on this specific idea.
This idea of total presentation.
Exactly. That true fashion is about total presentation, and confidence really begins with that uncompromising attention to detail at the foundation.
Okay, I love that, but I have to push back here for a second.
So go for it.
We're talking about meticulous care and this grand philosophy of total presentation, right?
Yeah.
But I can walk into literally any pharmacy, buy one of those silicone sponges infused with oil for like $5, and make my shoes look incredibly glossy in 30 seconds before I walk out the door.
You definitely can, yeah.
So are we just romanticizing an old world craft for the sake of being purists? I mean, why should you pay a professional when you can get a mirror shine in your kitchen?
It is a completely fair challenge, but we need to look at the actual chemistry of what you're doing with that $5 sponge.
Okay, lay it on me.
Using a quick DIY silicone applicator is essentially like putting a thick layer of clear nail polish over severely dry, chapped skin.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, it looks shiny on the surface, but underneath, the material is suffocating. You are basically sealing the problem in rather than solving it.
So it's purely cosmetic and arguably destructive then.
Highly destructive over time. You have to remember premium leather is an organic material. It's skin.
Right.
When it dries out, the microscopic collagen fibers inside the leather lose their lubrication. So when you walk, and those dry fibers are forced to bend across the toe box of the shoe.
They snap.
They snap. They don't slide past each other smoothly at all. And that microscopic snapping is what we see as a permanent crease or a crack in the leather.
Which you can't undo.
No, you really can't. And that silicone sponge does absolutely nothing to penetrate the surface and lubricate those fibers. It literally just paints over the impending structural failure.
Wow. Okay, that explains why I've absolutely ruined good pairs of dress shoes.
Oh yeah, what happened?
I'd wear them out in the rain, let them dry out in the closet, and then just give them a quick buff with one of those cheap kits. The leather got incredibly stiff, and these massive, unrepairable cracks formed right across the top.
It breaks your heart, doesn't it?
It did. It felt like the shoe aged 5 years in a single week.
And that physical degradation process is exactly what professional care prevents. We often frame shoe shining as like a cosmetic luxury, but it's actually a form of preventative structural maintenance.
So it's a structural thing, not just visual.
Right. A professional is executing a deep restorative craft. They understand the differing porosities of calfskin versus cordovan, for example.
Wait, they treat different leathers differently?
Oh, entirely. They aren't just wiping the shoe down. They are performing deep leather conditioning.
So what is actually happening during that conditioning phase, like chemically?
They're massaging premium creams deeply into the pores of the leather, pushing lipids and essential moisture back into those collagen fibers.
Kind of like a deep moisturizer.
Exactly. They're ensuring that the organic material remains hydrated so the fibers slide instead of breaking. And once the structural integrity is restored, then they move to scratch repair and color restoration.
Oh, right, because scuffs happen all the time.
All the time. And they carefully match the dye to the specific patina of the shoe.
That's incredible. And then there is the detailing that most people probably don't even know exists. I'm talking about sole edge detailing.
Oh, the edges, yes. It makes such a difference.
You see a shoe that looks a bit tired, but you can't quite put your finger on why. It's almost always because the edges of the leather soles have been scuffed against the pavement and turned this dull, dusty gray color.
Right. The geometry of the shoe has basically been lost.
Yeah.
So professionals will actually take sandpaper to that edge, smooth out the physical abrasions from the concrete, and re-ink it with a specialized edge dressing.
Sandpaper. That's intense.
It is, but suddenly the silhouette of the shoe is razor sharp again. It fully restores the architectural lines of the footwear.
And then they move to the actual shine, which is an entirely different level of chemistry, right? It's not just smearing wax on and rubbing it off really fast.
Not at all. Achieving a true mirror shine requires a deep understanding of different wax properties.
Like what?
Well, professionals will use softer waxes like beeswax to nourish the leather, and then harder waxes like carnauba to build the protective shell on top.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they apply microscopic layer after microscopic layer, usually with a tiny drop of water to control the friction. They are literally filling in the microscopic pores of the leather until they create a surface so perfectly flat that it reflects light like a pane of glass.
Wow. You're basically building a customized weather-resistant shield over the shoe.
You really are, and there's a massive ergonomic benefit here that people completely overlook.
Really.
Yeah.
Physical comfort.
Yes. We talked about how conditioning lubricates the collagen fibers to prevent cracking, right? But that same process keeps the leather exceptionally soft and supple. Conditioned leather actually enhances the physical comfort of the shoe.
That makes sense. Because a stiff, dried-out shoe fights against your foot with every single step you take.
Exactly.
That's how you get severe blisters and foot fatigue by the end of the day.
Right. But a supple, well-maintained shoe flexes ergonomically with your natural biomechanics. So, professional care is not just an aesthetic upgrade. It physically alters how the shoe supports you throughout a 12-hour workday.
Which is huge for anyone on their feet.
Definitely. And when you look at the economics of this, Paying a professional becomes a highly logical financial decision.
Because you're protecting the asset.
Exactly. High-quality leather shoes are a significant investment. You are paying a fraction of the cost of a new pair to physically extend the lifespan of an asset, keeping it functional and immaculate for years, sometimes decades.
See, but that's what's so wild to me. You're talking about making a product last for decades, which completely breaks the modern retail model.
Oh, it totally disrupts it.
Right. I mean, shoe brands today, especially in the fast fashion space, they kind of rely on us throwing our footwear into a landfill every, what, 8 to 12 months? We are so conditioned to treat our wardrobes as completely disposable.
We really are.
So how does a multi-generational, preservation-based craft fit into our current reality?
Well, it is the ultimate antidote to fast fashion. And Apparelizer is very explicit about this intersection of tradition and modern values.
How so?
Fast fashion contributes heavily to environmental waste through planned obsolescence, right? The materials are cheap, they degrade quickly, and they simply cannot be repaired.
Yeah, you can't fix a plastic shoe.
Exactly. When you engage in that disposable wardrobe cycle, buying cheap shoes, wearing them until they scuff, and throwing them in the trash, you are rapidly accelerating landfill pollution.
We act as if throwing it away makes it magically disappear, but it's really just sitting in the ground forever.
It is. So, maintaining existing high-quality shoes is a profoundly eco-friendly approach. If we connect this to the bigger picture, we often think of sustainable fashion as just buying from brands that market recycled materials.
Right, like buying a shirt made of water bottles or whatever.
Right. But true sustainability begins with the discipline of proper care for things you already own. By utilizing professional shoe shining, you are extending the shoe's lifespan, preserving premium organic materials, and directly rejecting the cycle of unnecessary wasteful consumption.
I love that.
Mm.
But I would assume the demographic for this kind of service is heavily skewed toward an older generation, no. Like, you picture a retired Wall Street executive from the 1980s sitting in a big leather chair.
That's the stereotype, for sure.
So,
But reading through the market insights, it seems like the demand is completely shifting.
really? Shifting how?
Dramatically. Luxury grooming services are no longer the exclusive domain of older corporate professionals. There is a massive surge in demand among young entrepreneurs, influencers, and highly style-conscious individuals.
Wait, younger demographics, the ones navigating the modern gig economy.
Yes, the ones building personal brands.
Why the sudden interest from them, though?
Yeah.
They are notoriously the biggest consumers of digital-first, fast-paced trends.
Because in a hyper-digital, social media-driven culture, presentation is documented and amplified forever.
Oh, right. Because a photo lives forever.
Exactly. Young professionals are investing heavily in tailored clothing and personal styling to stand out in an incredibly saturated market. As they educate themselves on sartorial standards, they quickly realize that a bespoke jacket looks completely absurd if it's paired with ruined footwear.
The dissonance we talked about earlier.
Precisely. Footwear maintenance has to be integrated into their holistic grooming routine.
Okay, so they recognize the signaling power. But if younger generations are adopting this, it begs the question, why hasn't Silicon Valley completely automated the process yet?
Ah, the automation question.
I mean, we have AI for literally everything else. I've seen those mechanical shoe buffer machines in luxury hotel hallways, the ones where you press a button and a fuzzy wheel violently spins against your toe. Why isn't that just the standard now?
Because automation fundamentally lacks tactile nuance. Those mechanical buffers are actually a perfect example of this.
They don't work.
Not well. They don't assess the needs of the leather. They don't know if the shoe needs intense hydration or just a really light buff. And they certainly don't color match scuffs with specific dyes.
Right, they just spin.
They just spin. Most of the time, they are just spreading whatever ambient dust is already on the shoe around at a very high velocity.
So it's basically an indiscriminate, abrasive action, not targeted care.
Exactly. You cannot put a premium calfskin Oxford into a machine and expect the same result as a master craftsperson. A human understands the specific porosity and tension of that individual piece of leather.
They can feel it.
They can feel it. The traditional skills, the deep restoration, the precise pressure applied during wax layering, the actual sanding of the sole edge, they require constant, real-time human judgment.
Which totally explains why luxury hotels, international airports, corporate centers, and high-end fashion districts still see such robust demand for human professionals.
Yep. It is a respected craft rooted in tactile precision, and no algorithm can replicate the physical touch required to restore organic material.
And people probably crave that level of dedicated craftsmanship precisely because it is so rare now.
They really do. Apparelizer champions this because it encourages individuals to embrace timeless fashion habits. Trends will come and go at light speed, but the habit of maintaining your foundation builds lasting style confidence.
No matter where you are.
Exactly. Whether you are navigating a high-stakes board meeting or an upscale networking event, polished shoes are the definitive punctuation mark on the entire fashion statement.
Okay, let's distill the core insights here for everyone listening because we've moved far beyond just making something look shiny.
We really have.
Professional shoe shining is a vital mechanism for preventative structural maintenance. It dramatically elevates your visual presentation, yes, but it also protects a significant financial investment by hydrating the collagen fibers and stopping the leather from physically degrading. It enhances your ergonomic comfort by keeping that material supple so it moves with your biomechanics rather than fighting them. It acts as a really powerful, sustainable rejection of fast fashion by keeping quality goods out of landfills.
Which is huge.
And finally, it delivers a crucial psychological armor, projecting immense competence to the world while freeing up your internal cognitive load to perform at your absolute best.
I mean, it is a remarkable convergence of economics, biomechanics, psychology, and sustainability, all delivered through a deeply traditional service.
So to everyone listening, whether you are preparing for a major investor pitch, a job interview, or you are simply trying to refine your daily baseline style, remember that true elegance demands complete presentation.
It really does.
The foundation, the literal ground you stand on, dictates the structural integrity of everything else you are wearing.
And that actually leads to a broader, perhaps more philosophical question I want to leave you with today.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Well, we've spent this time discussing how quality leather care relies heavily on specialized human skills, right? Tactile assessment, wax layering, restorative chemistry, things that simply cannot be replaced by an automated machine.
Right.
We live in a society that is deeply conditioned to constantly replace our digital devices the second the battery slows down and to throw away physical items the moment they show a single scratch. We are totally surrounded by disposable tech and fast fashion.
So true.
So, what other physical analog maintenance rituals might you be entirely neglecting in your own life?
Wow.
Taking the time to preserve, restore, and care for the high-quality things you already own, relying on deliberate human craftsmanship rather than a quick automated replacement. It might just be the ultimate way to ground yourself. In an increasingly disposable, high-speed culture, structural maintenance is actually a profound form of mindfulness.
I absolutely love that perspective. The true luxury isn't in constantly acquiring something new. It's in deeply understanding and caring for what you already have. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, make sure you take care of your foundation.